well as to understand the dynamic realities of journalism. Not forgetting my hardworking committee's members, your commitment and teamwork have made this program held today. To our advisor, President, your leadership and support are really deeply appreciated. And to all my participants, once again, thank you for choosing to be a part of this meaningful, insightful session tonight. So, with that, I would like to warmly welcome everyone once again, and I sincerely hope today's talk will leave you not only informed but will inspire you in any way. Thank you once again, and let us officially begin our journalist talk. So, now I will pass the floor to the MC. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Shurinder Sivakumar. And now, the moment we've all been looking forward to. We are honored to welcome Ms. Sophia Ahmad, Deputy and Acting Editor at Getaran.com Sendirian Berhad. With her extensive experience and deep insights into the world of journalism, she's here to share her thoughts on the topic, the media world today. But rather than me introducing her further, let's hear it directly from her. Ms. Sophia, the floor is yours. Please introduce yourself and share a little bit about your journey with us.
Thank you, Vidya. Hi, good evening, everyone. As you all know, my name is Sophia Ahmad. This is my 27th years working as a journalist. I started my career in 1998. I'm not sure whether have you all been born? Have you already been born 1998 or you're much younger than that? I guess I think you're much younger than that, right, Divya? Okay, so yeah. I started my career with Utusan Malaysia. At that time, the office was in Jalan Chan Saulin, surrounded by all the factories. And I stayed there for 4 years. And along that time, I was transferred to States Bureau in Kuala Terengganu. And I chose for a better opportunity. Then I joined Bernama. Bernama, if you didn't know, is our national media agency. It's like AFP for France, Antara for Indonesia. That is Bernama for us, a national media agency that caters to all official events hosted by our government. And I stayed in Bernama for 10 years. For 8 years before jumping to another company that is Berita Harian. Berita Harian is under the New Straits Times Press, which is now belongs to Media Prima Group. And I stayed there for 10 years before decided to venture into another opportunity, a better opportunity, which is Getaran. Getaran, if you didn't know, Getaran is a sister portal to the Vibes, which belongs to Petra News under Petra Group. And here in Getaran, my task is to manage all the articles, all the news sent in by the reporters, manage a group of reporters, in journalism, we refer to news as stories. Okay, so if you had a chance to have a day out with a journalist, if you heard them say, "Oh, I have 2 stories to do," they are referring to the news that they have to do for that day. So don't be alarmed when you hear stories. I thought you were a journalist. Well, what got to do with stories? Stories is a term that we use to refer to our news we have to publish. So my task, besides cleaning the piece, is to ensure that it will be every event that the journalists attend will be given an extensive coverage. Depends of the event. Okay, I guess that is enough. That is long enough for an introduction. So yeah, how do I start then?
Thank you so much, Miss Sophia. That was truly insightful. You've done so much, but you make it sound so effortless.
Okay, thank you for that. Because I'm not a in front of the screen type of people. Okay, because I'm not a broadcast journalist. I'm a people like me. We used to be behind the scenes, so to give a talk in front of people, even though it's only online, go up. So yeah, along the way, because yeah, my job is to write, not to talk. So yeah, I hope you understand if there's a way, if I fumble or if I didn't manage to pass my message. But I do hope whatever that I shared tonight will give you some insight, and I try to I study, my parents are going to kill me, so what happened in the past. Shows um
So, for the first question, what inspired you to enter the field of journalism, and how has your journey shaped your perspective today?
Oh, right. I love this question. I must say that I love this question because why? Because my involvement in journalism is because of my father, my late father. I'm sorry. My father was a great journalist. If I don't know whether you know him, but he is in journalism world, he is known as Tok Mat or Dato Ahmad A. Talib. He used to be a group editor of NST, news director for Media Prima. He passed away in 2020 due to liver cancer. So all my life, I've seen my dad in action as journalist because he started his career in 1972 with Bernama, and I was born in 1978. So you can imagine the experience, the hand-on experience I've witnessed all my life, seeing him in action, going for assignments, going for news coverage, going for overseas trip with all the VVIPs, all the prime ministers, the deputy ministers, and all the leaders. And he is my main idol in journalism. I truly wanted to be like him. So, and if if kids my age during my school days, if kids my age aspire to be a soldier, a doctor, or engineer, my answer remains the same. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be like him. To be more precise, I wanted to be like him. I want to be him. And it doesn't help because and my love in writing do contributes to that, because as a journalist, your writing skills have to be impeccable. You have to master the art of writing, the art of playing with words, because journalism is not about news writing only. It caters a lot of area, features, news, politics, currents. There are a specific stroke every time. Each news needs a different set of skills and a different sets of writing style. If you're for instance, if you are reporting for economy, okay, if you're a business economy, your reports must not be too flowery with words. You have to be sharp, based on all about facts and figures. While you're writing for features, that is where you can explore your writing skills, play with words, make it flowery, depends on the context of the article. So yeah, if you my dad is what inspired me to be a journalist. And I must say that being a journalist truly shaped what I am today. Because journalist is not for faint heart, not for someone who afraid to take off challenge, because you must be able to you must be prepared, you know um because every day will offer you a different things. There's no exact same day. If you're a journalist, it's different than you're working with a bank, or or a teacher, or lecturers, for instance. No offense to all the lecturers, but being a journalist, you are able to explore different set of surroundings, every time. From you can 1 minute you can be at the 5-star hotel listening to all the forums or speeches given by the leaders, by the prominent persons. The next minute, all of all you could be at the murder scene. that's how fast the situation can change, you know. So yeah, I hope I answered the questions, right?
Yes, you did. Quite
Okay, great.
eloquently, by the way.
Thank you.
So, in other words, you say that you are continuing your father's legacy.
Yes, I very much agree with that.
Alright, let's move on to the next question then.
Mhm.
The media world is expanding with apps like TikTok and Instagram taking over the internet. So, what are the biggest challenges you face as an editor in today's fast-paced media environment?
Oh, that is to keep up with the viral news, of course. You know, 1 minute you will be writing about, for instance, a kidnapping case in one hospital. The next minute, of all you know, the case is not true. It's a fraud. So you just imagine how fast you have to change the narrative of the news and how fast you have to chase for the details. So you know, with the emergence of social medias, it's I must say, I in terms of work, there are love hate relationship with the social medias, because besides gathering a lot of infos, a lot of details from social media, it also gave me a lot of headaches, because I have to, you know, I have to like really like filter everything. Not everything published in a social media is suitable to be used as a news, you know. But then if we like, because we are subjected to copyright acts, you know, we have Akta Hak Cipta, Akta Penerbitan, and so on, that what do you call it, that shape the journalism world, the industry in Malaysia. So we are subjected to all those rules, and on top of it, we have seditious acts as well. So there are a fine line, a fine rules that we have to really follow. I mean, we cannot like publish things that can stir the harmony of the nations, you know, of the country. But then, if we chose not to publish those news, people will people will uh people will accuse us of hiding the truth. You know, this is not a matter of hiding the truth, but it's a matter of trying to pass the message in a very um wise way. You know, like we have this Malay idiom, menarik rambut dalam tepung. You know, rambut tak putus, tepung tak berselerak. Everything has to be done in a smart way. You know, that to ensure the public will get the message, but at the same time we maintain a certain rules, you know, that we have to adhere to. Yeah, your question, if you're asking what is the biggest challenges, I must say that the details, the viral news carried by the social medias, that is really our challenge of now, especially when I'm working with online portal now. So there's really no off stone moment. You know, off stone is a term we use for printing media. There are cut off time for news before we send all the materials to the printing company, printing plant, to have it print, so that you can see the newspaper the next day. So you have to meet the cut off time. You cannot exceed the cut off time, you know, or else the paper would not be able to be printed, you know, the next day. So but for online portal, we don't have that cut off time. You know, as you see, the online portal, it runs 24/7. So you just imagine if the viral news came out at 3 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, I have to like forgo my beauty sleep and get ready, and do it, so that it will be appear on my news site ASAP.
That
Yeah,
honestly sounds very stressful.
it is. Journalism is not for a faint-hearted people.
I can tell. All right, for our third question. From classrooms to offices, AI technology is widely used. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think about the increasing role of AI in journalism? Threat
Mm-hmm.
or opportunity?
It can be both. You know, you see, no matter how good it gets, it can never take away the human touch. You know, it can create a lot of good things, you know, good things to be offered, because we move along with the advancement of the technology. But there's a human touch that AI cannot possess, you know. And sorry for saying this, but for me, AI is nothing more than just a tool. Just like how computers threatens everyone before, you know, and the internet, you know. But then it's normal. It's a normal evolution in technology. So, but if we journalists, if we can learn and try to use it as a form of resource to sourcing reference material, even to correct our angles or suggesting a good angles for our articles, then it would be good. It would be great. You know, if the only, because I always believe the only way to stop fearing with is the only way to stop fearing what you don't know is to know it. In this case, to stop fearing AI, thinking that AI is a threat, is to master the usage of AI. So yeah, if you ask me whether it's a child, it's a threat or opportunity, it can be both, provided it is used wisely. You know.
I have to agree with you on that. Okay, our next question. Misinformation is so easily spread through social media like wildfire. How do you deal with misinformation or breaking news pressure?
Okay, this misinformation is another major headache that we have to face every single day. You know, it's like a cancer. It spread aggressively. You know, it's out of nowhere. You'll be out of nowhere. You'll be facing, oh, this. Suddenly people come to you. Hey, I heard PM blah 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 blah. I said, huh? Okay, I'm not talking about. I'm not referring to other people. I'm referring to what happened to to my household. My mom, she just loved watching the YouTube. You know, where all the clickbait news site. She will always come to me. Hey, I heard Siti Nurhaliza is being apprehended. I said, nah, I saw in the YouTube. I said, Mom, if Siti Nurhaliza truly be apprehended, don't you think that I will be drop that busy right now chasing the stories? She thought, oh yeah, oh my God, tell me, if that happened to you, like every alternate minutes, how would you feel? You know, and no, it always happened like, okay, like for instance, the kebakaran saluran gas that happened in Putra Heights recently. Out of nowhere, people are accusing us for hiding the truth that actually there's somebody passed away due to the incident, that somebody died, when actually there's nobody died. You know how difficult it is to tell, because there will be this you know, Fatima came to us, lah, jiran I punya mak, punya kawan, punya makcik, punya sepupu bagi tahu ada orang mati. And I was like, huh? No, is it, did the police tell you anything? Did the police said there's a fatality, there's a casualty? No, right? It's like, tak ada lah, sebab alah, media kan suka sorok benda-benda. You know, media kan suka sembunyi. And I was like, what? That is, you know, because of this mak saya punya kawan punya pakcik cakap thingy, it is why we journalists always being labeled as covering up the real thing, hiding the truth. You know, because of why? Because of this social media. Again, because of these social medias. All these TikToks, videos, Facebook, and now threads. Oh my God, I tell you, amount of misinformations that has been spread, it's faster and bigger than the fire itself. You know, it's like wildfire in Los Angeles, spreading fast, wild, and scary. Because, you know, you as a journalist, people will directly come to you if they. That's why I always, if I about to meet a new people, I don't want to tell them what I'm looking at, because they will bombard me with thousands of questions. I dengar kan macam ni, macam ni, macam ni. I dengar kan macam ni, macam ni, macam ni, macam ni. So I was like macam, no, It's not true. Alex, you mestilah tak nak beritahu dengan I, tak nak share. I was like, dude, I don't have anything to share because that is not happening. It is not true. So yeah, misinformation is one of the biggest cancer, unfortunately, that we have to fight till now. The internet exists in Malaysia. It has been going on for so many years. It's just that before we didn't see it been spreading widely because there's no internet, there's no social media. So whatever the misinformation only has been passed from mouth to mouth. But now with the social media, every grandfather, grandmother, great grand uncle and whatnot have a Facebook or TikTok, they can just get the infos and just spread it among themselves. And they're the one who the information firsthand.
That sounds like a very tedious problem to deal with on your behalf.
It is.
What is one news story you've covered that has deeply impacted you personally?
Yeah, actually, I have more than just one stories. Can I share a few? If you don't mind. First would be the murders of Nurin Jazlin. If you don't remember, Nurin Jazlin is a girl who's been kidnapped, while walking back from a night market, and she has been disappeared for more than 2 weeks, I think, before her body was dumped outside of a bank in a sports bag. And up until what's that? Okay. And up until now, the killer still, I, as a mother myself, I was already a mother by when the incident happened. It really affects me because I get to see the first-hand photo and receive the first-hand info about her and about the case, and it really breaks my heart, because I couldn't imagine how would I be if that tragedy happened to my daughter. And the saddest part is when the killer is still on the loose. Still don't know who did. There's still, although according to the police, the investigation is still ongoing. It is an open case, meaning they will take action whenever there's a new foes or new clues. But until now, the killer still, we didn't know. It might be around us. It might be our friend. It might be our relative. We don't know. We just don't know. That's the scariest part for me. And the agony, the sadness that I see, on her mother's face, on her father's face is unbearable. I just couldn't I just couldn't imagine, how to deal with that kind of situation when I know deep inside she just want to grieve. She just want to be alone and waited for the news, for the progress. Yet they had to handle questions from the medias, questions from the authorities, from the police, in order to catch the perpetrators. I still remember clearly, the picture, the photo of the body, of the body for Nurin Jazlin. It haunts me to this day. And for the first few weeks after she was buried, I couldn't sleep. I end up in nightmare because, when you see something so gruesome that you can't imagine can happen to anyone. It's really traumatizing, you know. I mean, born Nurul Jazlin, I've witnessed several murder case, several suicide case, accidents, fatal accidents, but nothing beats this one. It's truly traumatizing. I just hope that it will not happen to anyone at all. And another one would be the MH370, disappearance of MH370, because I attended. Okay, the moment we received the news, we received a confirmation that the flight has been missing. I was sent to Vietnam for the search and rescue operations by my company, because there's a report saying that the plane has been sighted somewhere along the Vietnam coastal area. So I was there. I went there for about a week, you know, to join the search and rescue missions conducted by Vietnamese army. But yeah, as you all know, it ended in vain. No new findings, no clues. Upon coming back, I was assigned to the press conference. Hang on, yeah. Hello. Rumah yang pagar ada nama-nama kan? Betul-betul. Tekan loceng, dek. Tekan loceng. Okay. Sorry, there was a Grab food rider delivering the food. Sorry for my daughter. Okay, so yeah, upon coming back from Vietnam, I was assigned to handle the press conference. If you all can remember, every day our acting transport minister, Datuk Sri Hishamuddin, that time, will be assigned to give a press conference for all the medias, and I was there every day without fail, asking a questions. And the day when they told me that the flight ended on the Hindi Ocean was the day I cried. I never cried in any of my assignments, during my assignments, because we as a journalist, we have been taught to conceal our feelings. We have to be neutral, you know. We cannot, because we need to get the stories done. We need to get the news delivered to people. So we cannot let our emotions, we cannot let our emotions run us out. We have to be, to be as strong as we can. But that was the day I failed to control my emotions. I cried when they announced that the MH370 flight's journey ended on the Hindi Ocean. That was the last place the plane has been recorded. So yeah, and it was captured. Unfortunately, it was my crying face was captured by several television systems and was published up until Australia. So yeah, that was among incidents that I couldn't forget. And also, yeah, the invasion of Sulu people in Lahad Datu, Sabah. That is another story, another I don't know, because everything was, if you want to know what 13th of May 1969 felt like, I think that was the best to describe, because everywhere you could see the soldiers, the police in control, everywhere there's a what do you call it, pagar duri, to barricade the area. Every people, they will stop and check everyone, going inside, outside of the area. People will be scrutinized. Nobody can come and go as you please. and you are in the dark whether are we going to be, to be taken by some other forces out of Malaysia? Are we going, is Sabah going to fall down to the traitors, or is Sabah going to be safe eventually? Or, is there going to be a war? All sorts of questions, surrounding you. And at that point of time, we are about to have our general election. You just imagine the chaos and the stress that we have to go through. Yeah, that's 3. I can give you many more, but in my 27 years of service, but yeah, I think 3 would be enough for tonight. But, let's save the other part for another day if there's another talk.
Thank you for sharing those stories, Doctor. I can't imagine how difficult it must have been for you to
It is.
write about it and experience it. So, if it's okay with you, I would like to go to the 6th question.
Yes.
Every career requires a particular set of skills. What skills do you believe every young journalist must develop before entering the workforce?
This is a good question. Okay. First thing first, being a journalist does not guarantee you a fame. If you're looking for a fame, if you're looking for money, if your aim is to be rich, journalism is not the answer. Journalism is for someone who is prepared, who loves to take up every challenge thrown at them. It's like I said, journalism is not for a faint-hearted, because you wouldn't know what's waiting for you ahead. But and on top of it, you have to be jack of all trades. Your writing skills have to be impeccable. Your vocabulary have to be top notch. Your art of talking, your skills, of talking have to, you have to make people comfortable around you, yet you have to dig info from them. So journalism is someone who are born with a thick skin. It's not for someone who are afraid to approach people, who are afraid to throw up questions, who are I cannot do who pessimists. Journalism is not for them. So if you think you are not ready to go and approach people, approach a stranger and ask a question, or if you're not ready to, to be waken up at night at 3 a.m. just to go for a fire, for a big fire, or for a plane crash, I think I suggest you to find another job to do, because journalism is something that is, I don't know, combination of everything. It's adventure. It's full of adventure, of course. I can get. It's full of excitement, of course. It is full of excitement. It is full of pressure, not to forget that. So if you cannot handle pressure, if you're not someone who can work under pressure, if you're not someone who can accept whenever your editor say it to you, or you cannot accept when they corrected your flaws, then yeah, journalism is not for you. So I survive in this world in an old school way, through hard ways. I didn't have a journalism degree like all of you do. I joined Utusan Malaysia in 1998, soon after I finished my STPM. Okay, I was only 20 at that time. I joined Utusan Malaysia with a zero knowledge in journalism only, and I only have what I've seen in my dad. That's the only knowledge about journalism that I know. Okay, from what I see, from what I see from my dad, his peers, because I always like to follow my dad to his office, and that is the only knowledge about journalism that I have. But I know I can be a good one because I want to be. That's what I want to do. Journalism is what I want to do. Journalism is me. I am the journalism. It's in my blood. It's not something that I do. It's something that I am. Okay, so for youngsters, for younger generation, I often see that they don't have this skills to mix around. I don't know, social skills. I don't know. It's like communication skills. They just lack of this. They're like social type. They're they may be a book smart, but they cannot deny that being a journalist requires than just knowledge. Something. I may have a degree. I didn't even go to university, but one thing that you cannot take away from me is experience. Nothing. Nobody can take that away from me, and that is what that would make me stand out. Among the rest. So sometimes these generations they tend to look down at us. Akak bukan bagi you, akak apa tahu. I may not go to the university, but if you want to know, your lecturers, I used to teach them how to teach you all. You see? Because, just don't look at people, don't look down on people just because they don't have this paper called degree. Okay? Degree is not what going to define your life. It's the way you carry yourself. It's your experience that you gain along the way who will shape you to be a better and good journalist. So for younger generations, if you want to be a good journalist, be ready to learn. Learn, and learn. When I said learn, be ready to accept all the criticism, all the kemarahan from your seniors, all the teguran from the seniors. It is what going to shape you to be a good journalist in the future. Trust me, we've been there, we've done that. I've been a rebellious journalist during my younger days. And boy, if I can erase that moment, I would. How stupid I am to think that, kau ni, macam lah kau ni, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. If I can have my chance to erase all the stupid moments, I would. Because I'm so big to think of it. Oh my God. What did I think, to think that I know more than them? I'm still in my diapers while they are already running in the field, catching up, chasing all the leaders, all the prominent person. So just like all of you here, one day, once you're graduated, you'll be joining, I hope you'll be joining all the prestigious company out there, media company out there. Please learn from your seniors. They sometimes can be, sharp. Seniors, there's a cynical seniors. Just learn, let it go. They've been there, they've been young as well, so they learn from their mistakes just like I do. So learn, open your heart, learn, because at the end of the day, all this that you've learned in your university is only going to help you like what, 10 to 20% in the journalism world. It is the hands-on experience that will teach you more. It's the experience that you gain at the assignments, mixing out the seniors, writing your own news that will shape you. Trust me, I learn more you know, on the ground rather than being at the office or by reading a book. I used to read a lot of book about journalism before, and only like 10 to 20% applies to the real world. I did not say that you shouldn't study, you shouldn't further your study, just go to the ground and work like I do. No, not everybody can be like me, you know. And a degree is something that you must have today in this modern world. Knowledge is a key, you know, to be more successful in the future. But on top of it, experience is what going to shape you. So yeah, if you're asking for an advice, what my advice be to the younger generations: learn, learn, learn. Always willing to learn and be humble. You know, be humble. My dad used to say, kalau kau tahu bawa diri, pergi mana orang sayang. Learn how to carry your, adapt to the surroundings, adapt to the situation. You know, don't be arrogant. Don't be snobbish. We've been here far long than you. Heck, I started my career and you're not even born yet. You know, so yeah, what that tell you, right? So yeah, that the older people, they are there because they survived. But would you be able to survive like them? There's no guarantee, right? So yeah, always learn. Even in my 27 years as a journalist, I'm still learning. Still a new thing that I learn every day. Every day we learn. You know, learning does not stop when you age. Learning does not stop when you finish your studies. Learning is a lifelong journey. So yeah, my advice would be learn, be humble, and carry yourself well. Yeah, you should thank me later for the advice because it's going to be useful. Trust me.
So, Ms. Sophia, I think you agree with me that it's fair to say that other than basic skill sets, you need a lot of passion and the ability to learn to be a journalist.
Yes, definitely. That if you don't have passion in what you are doing, you won't be able to stay. You know, you won't be able to stay long, and you will do it only for the sake of getting your pay at the end of the month. That's all. But you see, if if you really love what you're doing, people can see from your articles, from the stories that you produce, you know, there'll be a soul in it. Okay, if you read the article, if you're senior enough to read other people's article, you can know, you know, whether these people is writing it just for the sake of, you know, fulfilling their quote, their KPI or their task of the day, or they are writing it from their heart. Okay, I will give you some link of my articles. Let me know later what would you think about it, because it's something that really come from my heart, you know. And that's about me. My skills, my expertise is in current news, as I mentioned in my introduction earlier. My skill is in current news, politics, but I also have a passion in feature writings where I can play with words, you know. Hang on, yeah, I'm trying to find the article for you to write. I'll put it in the chat column. Hang on, yeah. But my article will be in Malay. Will it be okay? Divya, my article will be in Malay. Is it okay?
Ms. Sophia, it's completely fine. And I'd like to thank you for giving us that reality check. I think some of us really needed to hear it.
Okay, hang on, yeah. Okay, hang on. Okay, hang on. Oh,
While waiting for Miss Sophia's link, I'd like to announce something. Attention to all participants. The first keyword for attendance is journalist talk. I repeat, the first keyword for attendance is journalist talk.
oops. Eh, where are you? Where's this? Eh, where is the link? Ah, here. Okay, hang on, yeah. Where's the chat? Okay. Okay, I've already pasted the link. You can read. That is for me one of examples. If the article is written with soul and when you pour your heart onto it, you'll see the difference. You know, to some of us who are senior enough, we can differentiate. We can really differentiate. We can tell whether, okay, this is, you know, just a plain article to fulfill the quota or fulfill the KPI. It's not something that you really write from your heart, you know. So, yeah. Okay, where were we just now? That's we were at
moving
question.
on. We were
Yeah,
moving
question
on to our
number.
7th question.
Okay, all right. Yes. Okay, how do you lead a newsroom during major national events like elections? Okay, actually this is normal practice everywhere. You know, when you're about to enter, when you're about to have important events like general elections, we will have a series of meetings beforehand, to delegate the duties, to determine what will be our angle. Of course, our angle would be who's going to win the election, be it the opposition or the current government of the day. And normally that is the gist of the story would be who's going to win the election. And of course there will be side stories as well. I mean, like incidents that happen during the election, if there's any commotion, is there any, any unwanted incidents, things like that. And yeah, basically it's nothing. It's just like any of you, how any of you lead your project. That's how I do it. But we will have a series of meetings beforehand, before the actual day. And the actual day is the day where we will be staying at the office all day long, from morning till the next morning. For the last election, I was at the office from 2 in the afternoon, after I finished my duties, casting a vote everywhere, blah blah blah. Then I went to the office and I only came home 7 in the morning. The next morning, yeah, because we have to wait for the results, right? We have to wait for the results. We have to flash what results that came, who's winning the seat, who's losing the seat, especially on those prominent persons, on those prominent leaders. And we have to ensure that we will just the news as fast as accurately good. And then we have to wait for the official results announced by the election commission. So it's a tedious job. It's a long day process and read. But it's also interesting because before the general election day, with weeks, that is when a lot of exciting things happen. All the drama pilihan raya, every candidate trying to win voters' heart by throwing a party, throwing dinner, officially even like, officiating a Taman Perumahan, those that, because this is when they really need to show to people, to the voters, that, oh, I'm going to be your representative. I'm someone capable, so please vote for me. This is when you get to see all the best actors, actresses of in Malaysia come forward. Because everybody will be at their best behavior, trust me. This is the time when you can go to them and ask, Dato, I really need 10,000, for my children's education. You'll get it. Don't worry. You'll get it there and there. That's how bad do they want to win the voters' heart. So yeah, it's a lot of interesting things during the campaign period. And you get to know, you get to meet your friends, the other journalists that you have not been seeing for like more than a year. Even though Malaysia is considered, journalism industry in Malaysia is considered small, but there are times that we haven't seen each other for more than, I don't know, for nearly half a year. That when we see each other, we're like, blah blah blah, because of our nature of job that sometimes prevent us from socialize. Oh yeah, one thing talking about socialize. If you want to be a journalist, be prepared not to have a life. Please don't talk about work-life balance with me. It doesn't exist in journalism. Okay, you can try and negotiate with your editors in the future. Boss, boleh lah, I nak balik pukul 6, I want to have a life too. But be prepared of the answer. Habis kau ingat aku tak ada life. Things like that. It happens to me. I was like, boss, tapi kan time kerja pukul 9 sampai pukul 6. Habis kalau semua balik pukul 6, paper siapa nak buat? Hantu. Things like that. So that's why I said I learned through a hard way. I learned everything in a old school way, just an anecdote, a side story. I was once, when I first joined as a TED reporter with Tutus Malaysia, I was asked to do a caption story. Caption story is a photo story. It's a photo where you write a brief details about the photo given. Normally, it's only about one paragraph. One paragraph lah. Two more if photo is really something really important. But that day, that historical day, I wrote about 15 paragraphs of caption story. Yeah. 15 paragraph caption story is equivalent to one short features. Okay, normally features is about 20 to 24 paragraphs. I wrote a bloody 15 paragraphs just for a caption story. So my editor, he passed away years back. Datuk Baharul Hussein, and screaming, so high, story apa sekali putra. And the whole newsroom was burst with laughter. And everyone like, why? Story buat rencana 15 orang. I was like, I was like, tapi macam banyak please. Like, Surya, did you know what is caption story? He said, no, I don't know. Itulah, banyak. So he took one paper and he showed me, this is caption story. So in the center of the front page paper with only one paragraph to explain what is happening. I said, oh, Nika, sorry lah, I learned it through hard way. So, to have my name that and from the end to another corner is a norm. It's a normal thing for me. That and it's my turn to shout to people. Okay, my time is long gone, so now it's my time to shout at people. I don't. I treat people nicely. Trust me. So that's okay. So that was the thing. If you are in the midst of national, important event like general election, there are things that you only get to see during general election. Nothing that you never see before. Okay? Because I can say that having a general election is having a big film festival altogether, because everybody we try to be the best actors and actresses. They wanted to be the best of people they can be. I'm the most generous, I'm the most kind-hearted, I'm the most passionate, I'm the most patient leader. You name it. You know, they'll give you the moon and the stars and the whole Milky Way just so they get your vote. That is the beauty of general election in Malaysia. So, did I answer your questions? I know I've been mumbling a lot.
No, you answered our question.
All right, great.
That was definitely very interesting, a very nice insight to listen to. Okay, let's go move on to question 8.
Okay.
Journalists also have to handle a lot of controversial issues and all. So,
Yes,
do
true.
you believe journalists should be activists or remain neutral? Where's the line?
Okay. You know, being journalist, actually, you have to be neutral. You cannot be one-sided journalist. But of course, now we have left-hand journalists and right-hand journalists. We have the left and right side now with the emergence of opposition. Now opposition also have their own media channel, and so as the government of the day. But okay, this is where it goes. You know, for media, we have I can say like 3 sets of media. You know, one mainstream media. Mainstream media is where all the main media companies gather. The main newspapers, Berita Harian, New York Times, Star, TV3, RTM, Bernama. That is what we call mainstream medias. You know, and then we have tabloid medias. Tabloid is where all the juicy stories, juicy articles, gossips, you know, being published. Their target is to publish more juicy stories compared to more serious note on mainstream media. And then we have alternative media. Alternative media, during my before, we used to say media that incline towards the opposition parties. You know, like Island, Malaysia Kini. You know, those medias that incline to the opposition side when our Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim was the opposition leader. But now, the unity government has taken over. So I believe there's no more alternative media. It's only electronic, mainstream, and tabloid. So as a media person, I believe we have to be neutral. It's, if you want to take sides, you must not let it overcome your professionalism. You must not let it overcome your decision while working. Especially, okay, like I'm the editor, right? And let's say that I'm more inclined towards the opposition, but I must not let my political ideology, you know, overrun my decision in publishing a news. You know, I have to follow what is the house style, what is the house rules for my portals, for my site. You know, that's why I say you can, of course, it's a free world. You can opt to be a supporter to any parties that you want, but when it comes to work, the professionalism stands. You must not let it. You must not. You must not let your political ideology overrule your decision at work. A very neutral journalist, it's very difficult these days, because a lot of us has been a member of political parties for themselves. But again, you must not let it interfere with your professionalism at work. Yeah.
as a journalist, you must say it as it is.
Yes, correct.
Our next question. As mentioned before, we live in a golden age of social media. And we all know that you worked more than 2 decades, so I believe that you have gone through the changes in journalism field. How do you balance traditional reporting with digital demands?
Digital demands as in? I mean, how to get the news published ASAP or the interference of social media?
I guess you can say both, especially wanting the news as fast as possible.
You know, the beauty of having an advanced technology nowadays is you can publish your news ASAP when you need to. You know, like for instance, do you remember the plane crash in Elmina last year? Yeah, okay. The moment I get the news, I have to send it as fast as I can. You know, we call it flash, send a flash, meaning a brief brief 3 para details, you know, just to describe what's happening as well, and followed by more. That is called flash. Flash is a maximum 3 para details on what is happening, so that people are aware. You know, there's such incidents happens now. Okay, so I can't do that without a mobile phone, of course. You know, when I started work, mobile phone is a luxury. I don't even have a mobile phone back then. At the time, I was sent to cover riot in Kampung Baru in 1998. It is because of the dismissal of Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, who was then Deputy Prime Minister, by the then Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. So Datuk Sri Anwar was dismissed, and he was charged with several allegations. So his supporters took it to the streets. You know, they went and caused a riot to the extent it became uncontrollable. The police have to call their FRU, you know, the Federal Reserve Unit, to contain the situation. I was there. My dad couldn't reach me because I don't have a phone. So he was all hell break loose because my dad was a News Straits Times Group editor back then. So he knows everyone in my office newsroom, the Utusan newsroom, he knew everyone of them. So he couldn't reach out to me. He went to my newsroom, to my office instead, and asked, "Hey, where is my daughter? I couldn't find her." And I was like, I didn't know about this because obviously my boss couldn't reach out to me because I don't have a phone. You know, it's something luxury back then. So that's just imagine how did we manage to send a story? We have to find a public phone. Do you know what is public phone? Do you have a chance of doing it? Do you have you have a chance? Okay, great. Yeah, I have to find a public phone, and at that point of time, I can say 80% of the public phone has been damaged, has been vandalized by the rioters. So yeah, I think it must be pleasant with me that night because I certainly walked more than 10,000 kilometers, than 10,000 steps that night alone just to find a good functional public phone so that I can send my news. So that is journalism without the technology. Okay, but now technology, so you can send in your stories everywhere at any time. As long as you have a good coverage, a good phone coverage, good line, a stable line, you can send even pictures. And now you don't need a good camera to snap a pictures, you can just use your mobile. That's why we have this term called Mojo, mobile journalist, where you can use your phone for everything. You no longer have to carry your heavy laptops everywhere you go. Everything can be done with just a phone. So yeah, while I do miss the heydays, you know, when the technology is something that technology is a luxury to most of us, but I do appreciate the advancement of technology that we have now because it makes my job a lot easier. We have to evolve, right? So yeah.
Thank God for technology.
Yes, it is.
Last question.
Mhm.
What are some tools or software you personally use in your daily work?
Oh, actually, I just use my my office system. You know, that is we call it our back end to file in our. Other than that, I just use notes on my phone to write a story. This is okay. Let me show you some example. Hang on, yeah. Okay, this is example of the stories that I do on my phone. You know, and I can just type it on my bed. I was typing this story yesterday on my bed, from my bed. So yeah. So I don't really use because I'm not a video editor, you know, so I don't really need those advanced software, you know, to do anything. And because we have specific person to handle our social media's accounts, you know, to edit the videos or the templates or the reels using CapCut or anything. We do have specific designated for that. My job can on my iPhone. And also my back-end system. This is my back-end system. We call it CMS. Hang on, yeah. Let me show you. Okay. This is my back-end system. Okay, this is how we file the article. You know, this is for the title, for the headline. We call it headline, you know, and this is the type of news that's going to be filed here. Can you see this one? Okay, and this is the name of the journalist who write the story, who write the articles. Okay, and we put the picture here. We put the picture. We upload the picture here. Okay, and then the story will go here. The article. We'll put the article here.
Ms. Sophia, could you raise your phone higher a bit, please?
This is where we put the articles. You know, there if you can see the cover, the picture here. Cover image is where we uploaded the picture for the article. Okay, can you see? Okay, all right. So this is the system that we are using for Getaran.
Thank you, Ms. Sophia.
Other than that, sometimes I use GPT to help me with translation, especially when I'm in a rush. You know, when I need to translate it English piece to Malay, and I'm in a rush because I have a lot of articles to add. So yeah, that requires my attention. So sometimes ChatGPT helps too. You cannot. I must say that I cannot totally depend on ChatGPT because sometimes the translation sucks big time. So you know, but it helps lah. It helps to straighten the words to have some translated. So I don't really have to crack my head to think, okay, what is this in Malay? I just have to rearrange everything. That's all.
That's actually quite cool because most of us here are a big fan of ChatGPT as well.
Okay.
Before we move on to our next segment, we're pleased to invite the advisor of Journalism Club, Sheikh Asma Riza Hussein, to deliver a few words for tonight's event.
How are you, Miss Sophia?
Hi, I'm good. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. First of all, I'm Miss Asma Riza, the advisor of UM Journalist Club. On behalf of this club, I want to thank for you, especially for becoming this panel tonight for Journalist Club 2025 Media World today. I hope it's a true honor to having you with us today because as from our part, education, we need to giving the students to explore a world that shape our thoughts, perspective, and the stories we tell, and the real world of journalism. Okay, and from I also watching our students grow in their passion for writing, reporting, and questioning the world around them. Because Ms. Sophia, I'm also the journalism.
Oh, okay.
Okay, for my job. For my job, sometimes I doing a part for writing articles, so something like that. In news also, or if my NGOs, something like that. So today's session, I think it takes curiosity further beyond the lecturers. That I believe from this class also coming from the student journalism. So I hope from the lecturers they can get something new into the real life challenges and responsible in the journalism. Because we know that I have my clique also at Media Prima. You know Adu Malik Rayani?
I beg your pardon?
Do you know Adu Malik Rayani?
Yeah, my super junior.
That's my student, Miss Sophia.
Oh,
and
okay.
The Hazrin Hussein, Mio Adu Malik is my student, previous generation, also my clique. They are my junior also, who work with Media Prima, and also Miss Syariani from Milan, also my friend there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think from our part of the media world today, as we know, we live in the age where news spread in the second. I mean, anything in the TikTok, FB, IG can go viral very fast, right? And
yes.
Between the journalism, opinions, and content creation is often blurred. So I believe and I hope the journalists, the future journalists today need carry a very big responsibility in the most crucial and this complex issue of patient and to be a neutralized person.
Yes,
yes,
that's correct.
That's correct. For ethical to be a good journalism, I think. And I agree with you to being a great journalist, you can't be arrogant. I mean, anything happen or anything we doing in our life, we can't be arrogant person. Because if you are being respect by others, you need to respect them first. So you can gain the respect from them without you want them to respect you, right?
Yes.
Is it okay? Right.
True.
I think really thanks for you today because your presentation is very inspiring to all aspiring journalists. I mean,
thank you.
Especially from UUM part. For
Thank
the
you.
students, I hope they can learn something from you today because in my journey, writing, journalist. I learned from a lot of different people. I learned from Mitra Harian. I learned from Miss Heriani about the mojo, something. So I believe maybe after this, you can help us to giving something like a mojo sessions. Because
Sure, no problem.
mojo
Sure, no
session,
problem.
because before this, I think for almost 3 years ago, 2 years ago, doing a workshop mojo with Heriani. So I think we can build up more engagement more after this, Ms. Sophia, because I really want this club, journalist at the Culture Center, go to the Prima and learn what's the real life of journalists there. Maybe build up workshop sessions, just a simple workshop, and any what we call exchange information about the real ethic for journalists. Can we doing this, Ms. Sophia?
Sure, but I'm no longer with Media Prima, so yeah, you have to liaise with someone from Media Prima. So I'm no longer attached to Media Prima, Miss. Yeah.
You are attached with Getaran, right?
Yes, I'm with Getaran.
Yes, I know, because Getaran is also our become our strategic partners when we doing 3 case for almost 3 years ago. Getaran is also every good giving us good the good news for us to spread our event on that time. So thanks
I
again,
see.
Getaran. I hope we can joining for upcoming event, because
Sure, no problem.
upcoming event we have festival tradition Millennia, which also this club also will doing something like session workshop. So I hope Karen can be our party partners in order to spread the news for upcoming community. So thanks again, Miss Sophia. I really adore with you. I hope one day I can meet you by personally. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
I think Miss Sophia's connection is not clear.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay. So it's okay. So I proceed with my speech and to all journalist club members. I really incredibly proud of your dedication, especially by the Jeff and also his team and Morgana and your team, because you can make this event very possible tonight. And for our audience tonight, I really encourage you to get all the knowledge from the Miss Sophia, us in Christians. If you cannot ask tonight, you can personally wrap up with her, and then to being a professional journalism, you need to teach your mind yourself to think critically, because the best journalism is can be a critical thinking person. So this is your chance to engage the real world of journalism. And with that, thank you for the sessions and enjoy the session. Thank you. Back to you, Ms. MC.
Thank you, Cik Asmariza, for that speech just now. Let's move on to our next segment, which is the Q&A session.
Divya, before
now,
that,
let's switch. Yes.
I just want to share with you that I just remember that 10 years ago, My dad was an adjunct professor in the UUM.
Oh, see? What is his name?
Dato Ahmad A. Talib.
Ah,
In 2015, he was the adjunct professor in UUM. I just found out. So it was exactly 10 years after that. I'm honored to be given a chance to have a talk with all of you.
wow. So we need to bring you back here.
I would love to. It would be an
Okay.
honor.
Okay, maybe another session we can arrange a little bit collaborations program with you.
Sure. No problem. I would love to.
Okay, your father is a adjunct professor from UUM. That's very nice. It's very short for me,
Was.
but that's a great person, right?
Yeah, he was. He is.
Yes, yes. Yes, a legend, life legend.
Mhm.
Okay.
A wonderful surprise. So now to our next segment. Now, Miss Sophia, imagine you're talking to a student who's passionate about media, but unsure where to start. The student might be right here tonight. Let's open the floor for a Q&A session. If you've got anything you'd like to ask Miss Sophia Ahmad. Participants are welcome to unmute their mic, introduce themselves and ask the questions, or introduce themselves through chat and ask the questions through the chat box.
Hi, first off, I'm Rachel. I'm not actually from UUM. I'm an outsider university student. And before I ask my question, I want to phrase this by saying I have absolutely zero knowledge in journalism, so I don't really know anything. But my question is, so let's say if I want to become a journalist and I want to specifically report on economics, for example, would I need to have additional background knowledge on economics like that? Or is it not really
It is
necessary?
it is good to have some knowledge, background knowledge, if you are economic graduates, because it will help you to learn the lingo faster. But we have a lot of cases where they don't have, where that particular journalist didn't have any economic background, but turns out to be a great economic writer. You just need, as I said earlier, you just need a passion to learn and your willingness to learn. That's the key thing.
I
You
see.
see, the beauty of journalism is you don't really need to have that specific education, or specific background to be a journalist, because along the way you learned that, provided you're willing to learn lah, of course. So
I
you
see.
learn. So you don't really need to have you really don't need to be an economic graduate to be an economic writer. But of course it always good, to have that added value. But along the way you learn, you surely learn how to be a good economic writer. If your interest is in economy, you learn faster because it is where your passion lies.
All right, thank you. Because I actually am studying economics right now, and I
I
did maybe
see.
consider
It's
I could maybe pursue
great.
something like that as well.
Yeah, it always good because then you'll understand more. Like I'm not my forte. My forte is not economy. I hate figures. I hate numbers. I'm not born to be good with numbers. I only good at counting my money. That's all I'm good at. Or
You're right.
counting a discount. Whenever there's sale, I'm only good at counting the discounts. But to have, that's why the only thing I despise in my career is economic desk, because I really hate the figures. I really hate the, the economic term, the business term that I have to come up with. I have to learn, all the IPO, all the, it's different when you write economy in Malay version,
Yes,
because
yes.
the translated terms, the translated version of that term is totally different. Like gross domestic products, right?
Yes.
When you translate it, it's keluaran dalam negara kasar. What's translated? It's going to be translated that way, like gross domestic product. Okay, why keluaran dalam negara kasar? I was like, got nothing to do, right, with the original term, the English term. So yeah, I truly hate economy. I'm sorry. No offense to all the economy
No, it's
students,
okay.
but yeah, economy is not something that I would see myself in the future. I've been in the business desk before, and it only lasted me 1 year. Okay,
Oh,
I only enjoyed when I was assigned to write the features about the entrepreneur, the struggles in building his empire, his business. I just love that part because I can play with my words. Okay, but I always feels like feels like what knocking my head, when cracking my head when I have to go for the IPO listing events, the for the for the financial year reports. Oh my god, don't give me all that crap. I really hate it, you know
I see. All
so
right.
yeah, if you aspire to be an economy journalist, please come aboard so that I don't have to, I don't have to crack my head anymore. I can
Sure,
just leave the
sure.
job to you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for your answer. It helped a lot.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Halis, and I'm also from an outside university.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm taking a course that is totally unrelated to journalism. I'm doing chemistry, in fact, but I have always had a passion of raising awareness for things, and because of that, I have considered journalism and everything like that. But then when it comes to the question of, not question, but when it comes to the statement of journalists should stay neutral or all that, um, would that apply for something? Because I would dabble into journalism to like be more like passion to spread awareness about my passion and everything. So
Come
then,
again, Alice. What's your question?
sorry, let me rephrase.
Yeah.
Basically, if what fuels my sorry, yeah. My question is, should even when someone wants to become a journalism because they're passionate about a certain
Mm-hmm.
topic,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to those times where it can't just be passion, they have to think about like both sides, they have to consider all these factors. When it comes to those situations, how what advice would you give to someone who can't
Okay.
deal with that?
Okay. You can always adapt, which is why we have editors, if one day you find that whatever that you've been assigned to is no longer your passion, or it's against your principle of life, sort of, you can always go and talk to them. I'm sure a good editors is always open for discussion, for a healthy discussion, for a guidance. They would teach you, they would tell you what to do. And it is true that being a journalist, you can help to create awareness on certain topics. For instance, I did produce a special report on animal trafficking, exotic animal trafficking. and how we manage to bust animal trafficking ring in social media, where they use social media to sell exotic animals, which is totally illegal. Okay. And from that, people know that there are types of animals that cannot be turned into a domestic pet, you know and just because they look cute, just because they appear to be adorable, does not mean that they can be kept as a pet. Because of that stories, because of that series of reports that I wrote, they finally know that to have, for instance, to have a python as a pet, you need to obtain a license from the Perhilitan, that you can be apprehended, you can be even subjected to imprisonment if you're caught on a list. You really can help to create awareness on a lot of topics. Okay, but in any time where you find yourself couldn't agree with what have been assigned to you because it is against your principle, or it is against your passion, it's no longer in line with your passions, you can always go and talk to your editor. As an editor myself, I would love to have my journalists to come to me. Shall they have any problems, anything at all, you know if they need guidance, if they just want, even if they just want to ponder their hearts, they can always come to me. Because sometimes these new journalists, they are, sometimes we got lost along the way, and we feel that we are alone, that there's nobody that we could turn to, you know so yeah, don't let it clouding you. Always seek help from your editors, and share with them what is your intention, or what is your aim in writing such articles, or writing such features. Okay, for if your intention is help, is want to create awareness, so just tell them and ask for a guidance. How can it be done, or what are the things that I should do, what are the things that I shouldn't do? Did I answer your questions, Alice?
Yes, you answered my question. I actually
Okay,
have
thank.
another question. This was just like
Okay,
me thinking, because I personally
okay,
struggle with a lot of anxiety and social anxiety. So I was thinking,
okay.
how can these aspiring journals, like students or aspiring journals, aspiring journalists who
Mm-hmm.
are from my generation who struggle with
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, social anxiety, or maybe they're just afraid. They're just plain afraid. What advice or what
Okay,
encouragement would you give to them?
okay. When it comes to anxiety, if it affects you medically, then I think you should seek for professional help. You know, seek help professionally, because I might not be the best people, no, might be the best reference to answer it from the medical aspect. But uh, you know, one of tips, one of the tips, yeah, I've gotten when I just started, given by one of the editors, is by being a journalist, you are opening a world to other people. You are a door that opens the world for people to see, you know. So in order to be that door, you have to be equipped with every skills and knowledge, so that when you walked out, you know that you are prepared. So, in answering your question, social anxiety, being a journalist, you ought to mix around. Okay, you cannot fly solo. You cannot be a lone wolf. You need to mix around because you will need a subject matter to be interviewed. You know, you cannot be a journalist by sitting at one corner and write an opinion piece based on your observations. It can be done, that is for another day, because we do have section called opinion piece or editor's piece, lidah pengarang and whatnot. But by being a journalist, you need to mingle around. Okay, you need to mingle. That's why to be a journalist, as what my late dad always told me, muka kena tebal, mulut kena bisu, telinga kena pekak. Okay, these trees, if you look at it, you ought, like I said earlier, right? You ought to have a thick skin. Because you're going to approach, sooner or later, you're going to approach a stranger to ask for their opinion. If you're doing man on streets, you have to interview people that you never know. The strangers, complete strangers, to ask for their opinion, to ask for their stance on certain matters, and telinga kena pekak, because you cannot take heart of their disagreement, of their when they leash out to you, apa ni lah media tak betul. You cannot take that and let it poison you. You have to just masuk telinga kanan, keluar telinga kiri, That's what I meant when telinga kena pekak and mulut kena bisu, is that you cannot retaliate. You cannot, like, when they come to you and say, bodoh lah media ni, and kau lah lagi bodoh. You cannot do that. Of course, this is a real world, right? Of course, there are times when we tend to argue back, but don't follow that, okay? Don't do that, okay? Because there are times, because after all, we're just human. We have flaws. There are times when I do shout back at people who shouted at me, but that was another story. That was a different case altogether, But yeah, I mean, I think by mingle a lot can help you to overcome your social anxiety, Alice. Because by
Thank
being a journalist, you do need to mingle a lot. You really need to mingle a lot, because we as a senior journalist, we have a lot of incidents where the young journalists come to the assignments and, with their high nose, with their, with their, stuck up attitude, thinking that they are all, I graduated from Australia, I graduated from the United Kingdom. Who the hell cares? Okay, at the end of the day, you are only a rookie. Okay, I've been in this line ever since you're still in your diapers, running around your house, don't want to go to the shower, So yeah, it's like you need to, that I know, because I was not, although I am easily approached by people, but I'm not someone who can simply, and all of that I need to let go the moment I decided to be a journalist. It was a sign, for a young journalist, the editors would definitely send you to do man on streets, because that is how you gather your interviewing skills. That is how you sharpen your interviewing skill. That is how you learn how to tweak and twist the question so that you'll get the answer that you want. It's from doing man on street that you'll be able to get all that. Okay, Alice, did I answer your questions?
Yes, you gave a lot of insightful feedback, and I agree with a lot of it too. Also, I would just like to say, this is not, after reading your article and after hearing your story, I can really tell how much of an empathetic person you are, and I actually cried while reading your article, because I was like, I have to really appreciate the time I have with my own father.
Yeah.
And I find it very inspiring that your father is your idol.
Yes,
so thank you so much for giving us this talk.
Thank you so much. Oh, we have a question from Diva. I'm from University of Malaya. My question is, what are the red flags of unethical journalism? Okay. One of the things that you guys should be aware of is plagiarism. Okay, it happens a lot of late. You know, where younger generations of journalists just take the infos from elsewhere, copy and paste it and rearrange it, you know, and make it as their own. You know, plagiarism is an offense. Okay. For my most of media companies, there are zero tolerance, zero compromise on plagiarism, because you tarnish the name of the company, and not only you're going to tarnish your name, you're going to tarnish the image of the company, and you can subject it to, you know, to civil suits. So it's really something that you, and the first red flag is on plagiarism. That is one. Number two is misleading infos and misleading facts. Please, please, please get your facts and infos accurate before you have it, but before you write down your articles and send it to editors to be checked and to be published. There are times when the news, okay, published in one of the local televisions was given a wrong information altogether, you know. Yes, because the journalist who was assigned with the assignment did not double check the fact and did not verify the infos that she got. Yeah, because, you know, things like that, things like this, if you keep it on happen, if you let it happen all the time, it can tarnish the confidence that the people have on the media. You know, as it is, we are battling the, you know, the misleading, the misinformations, the fake news everywhere, and the misconceptions of media that people are now having towards us. So by, you know, by not verifying your articles before you have it published, will only damage it more. So I hope I'm answering your questions, Diva. Okay. Any more questions?
Looks like there aren't any more
I have
questions
one more.
from the participants.
Is it okay if I
Okay.
ask one more question?
Sure.
Yes.
All right. So I think this might be like for those who don't come from like journalism backgrounds, they might be wondering this too. But for those who are like, you know, not in any related journalism background, maybe they're not studying journalism right now, but they maybe want to get into it. How would they start their journey to pursue that?
To be a journalist?
Yeah, like I mean, like, you know, like where can I start if I actually want to pursue it? Like,
Oh,
is there
okay.
any like or something like that?
You can always write an application letter to any media company that you want to join. You know, they will normally advertise it from time to time if there's any vacancy, if they are looking for a new talent. Okay, you can just write to them and send in your application. It's easy as just like applying for a job. Just send them because there will be a vacancy from time to time with this media company. You know, that's how I started my stint with Utusan Malaysia. They were looking for a cadet reporter. We call it cadet reporter. Cadet reporter is a rookie. We call rookie is a term that we use for cadet reporter. Okay, so that's how I started my stint with Utusan Malaysia. They there was an advertisement. They were looking for a rookie, so I sent in my application, and yeah, I got called in, and the rest is history.
I see.
So again, Rasha, I just look out for any advertisement. You know, they will advertise it from time to time. Check through LinkedIn, JobStreet. Normally, they will have it there too. They will have it. They will advertise it there too, or they will be, sometimes they use their social media, their Instagram or their Facebook official page. You know, to advertise, to look up for a new journalist. So yeah, you just try your luck there.
All right, I see. Thank you so much. And that's
No
all.
problem. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a question. So as a communication student, I would like to ask, like, how can I build a strong writing portfolio while I'm studying in the university?
Writing portfolio, you mean how to improve your writing skills?
Yeah, in the same time, how to build a good portfolio.
Okay, to improve your writing skills, there's no shortcuts other than to read and read and read. Read everything from tabloids to mainstreams to magazines to articles to journals. You know, reading a lot will help you to sharpen your vocabulary. You know, that's how I gain my writing skills, because I just love to read. As a kid, I grew up reading. My hobby is to read. I read everything. You know, I read everything from Gila Gila to all this, you know, children's magazines to Reader's Digest. Oh, Reader's Digest is a must, yeah, in my household. Those were the days, you know. Newspapers, you know. And apart from that, you can send in your you can pick any articles, any topics that interest you, write an article and send in to any publications to be published as reader's opinion. Or you can send features, you know, send to the respective desk. Like I know for Berita Harian, they have this features unit, you know, where you can send your articles you might want to explore in details, or just to express your opinion or your observations. Okay, and those, when it has been published, you can have that as part of your portfolio. You know, at least when you apply for a job, okay, you can bring it forward and you know, show that okay, I have several articles that has been published, you know, by your company, ma'am. These are my paper cuttings. These are the paper cuttings of my articles, or these are the links of the articles that has been published by this so and so and so portal. You know, always write, find a topic and write and send in. You know, you can reach out. You can reach out to them via email. Normally they'll have emails. You know, for each now each media company, they have designated email for that designated unit. So yeah, send in. That's how you build your writing portfolio. Just right. You know, they will adjust it according to your house styles, but you will have your name on it. You know, to see your name on that article. We call it byline. Yeah, byline is the author's name on each article, or at the end of the sentence, penulis ialah penuntut jurusan kewartawanan di Universiti Utara Malaysia. Is priceless, you know. The first time I saw my byline appear on the newspaper was, wow, it's something that is undescribable, you know, because it's, wow, I'm all over the world, you know, even though it's only like 8 paragraph articles, but hey, that's my first byline, man. So yeah, you'll get to see that if you send your articles to, you know, to be published by that media company. Good for you, you know, to you.
Thank you so much, Miss Sophia.
Welcome.
If that's all the questions from participants, I'd like to thank you all for such an active and engaging session with Ms. Sophia. Before we move on with our event, I'd like to make an announcement. Attention to all participants. The second keyword for attendance is Media World Today. I repeat, the second keyword for attendance is Media World Today. Before we wrap it up. Let's we kindly ask